Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Make Me Famous, where we talk about the road to Hollywood for Latinos as I navigated myself. So, today we're going to talk about paralysis by analysis. Stop me if you've heard this one. I want to put this out, but ... fill in the gaps. So before we get into any of that, I just want to please take a second to remind you guys to like, follow, subscribe, share. It really means a lot. It allows me to do this thing that I'm doing, this weird, crazy thing that I'm doing with you guys. So yeah, everything and anything helps. So thank you. And I love you. So what does that mean, right? Paralysis by analysis. So it's basically when you stop or slow down any progress that has to do with putting out a project, and that can be a lot of things, right? So feeling like your stuff is not good enough, like the project that you're working on or trying to write, trying to film, trying to produce in any step is not good enough. That's a big pitfall for a lot of people. I've been there myself. I know I will continue to be there at some point because I'm always in my head about things. You know, call it the artist curse. There's always going to be a way to improve something. You know, there's always room for improvement. That's going to be a given. To feel like your work is not good enough is you're setting yourself up to fail. And again, I say all of this to myself too. So this is as much for me as it is for anybody that listens or watches this. So yeah, I mean, there's always going to be room for improvement, whether you watch this or, or listen to it, or like, if you're in the process of getting something written, writing, producing, filming something, anything like that, there's always going to be room for improvement, whether it's 5 months from now or you feel like you've done the thing and you watch it back and you're like, man, you know what? I could have done that shit differently. Happens to all of us. A lot of us don't watch our own stuff back. I've never understood that because, and I get it. There's like a vanity thing that you don't like. Oh no, or an overly critical thing that you want to maybe not deal with. You're like, nah, I don't know, I'm fine. I don't want to watch it back because you get like secondhand embarrassment for some things. I get that. I understand that. But for me, I want to see what other people are seeing. I want to see why somebody felt the way they did about what I have made. And then also, these are things that you should take with you to improve your progress, to improve your process. Take things with you, leave some stuff behind. Common theme, believe me. Yeah, so I mean, as far as that goes, that's always going to be like a constant. There's always going to be room for improvement. So don't beat yourself up for not feeling like your stuff is good enough, because it's never going to be good enough. And that's kind of part of why we do what we do, because we're always chasing that dragon, so to speak. Another big thing that I guess holds a lot of people up is comparing projects that you have to other people or other projects, like in general. Like it could be a project that is that's done, and that could be a podcast, it could be a film, a series, a show, and and you're like just getting your feet wet and you're comparing your step, your process, and at where you are now to somebody that's already been doing it for a while. That's a really bad way to start that conversation with yourself and with those projects, because those people have gone through their set and their share of growing pains. It's definitely going to be something that, like, it's their own journey. So for you to be like, oh man, I want I want to start off at their step 576. You're setting yourself up for failure. It's not going to work like that. Those people have gone through the growing pains, the day in, the day out, the week in, the week out, month, year, etc., of what they were doing to get to the point where people could be like, that's what I want to do. Or, man, I want my shit to look like that, or sound like that, or I want that aesthetic, or, the list goes on. So it's not going to serve you to think like that, because you have to go through your own set of growing pains, because they learned how to do this and leave stuff out and not do that anymore. And, oh, you know what? That worked the last time. Let's make it a thing. So they did all that stuff in however, way that made sense to their creative process. So you can't piggyback or hijack somebody's creative process or timeline and think that, like, not at all. You have to ride your own wave and meet it at a place where you're going to be able to see the lessons that you're going to get off of every session that you build on. You got to stack your days and sessions and all that good stuff. Another big one for me is and I'm so fucking guilty of this, chasing perfection. Don't. Simple as that. Just don't. You ever heard the phrase, perfect things aren't real and real things aren't perfect? Yeah. I know it's like real, like cliche, and but it's not real. It's not correct, because man, there's so much behind that one. It's like, you want things. I'm a perfectionist. I will fully admit that. I measure. You know how they say, like, measure twice, cut once. I measure like 8 times, and I cut sometimes like 75%. But again, I'm here and I'm giving this information because I'm guilty of it as well. Like, there's a lot of people that will put stuff online, and they'll put like a polished version of something, and it's real curated and nice, and it's like, oh well, the struggle. Like, no, you didn't fucking struggle. You did that 1,000 times, and then you put out a edited version of it, and that's why it looks good, and that's fine. Power to you. But it's not always the way that it is for everybody. I mean, we're gonna go through this. This is live, by the way. Like, I have like bullet points and stuff, but as like a guideline, so I don't go off the rails too much. But yeah, this is a live thing. I'm recording it live, not in front of a studio audience, by the way. How fucking cool would that be, right? But anyway, we'll get to that. But yeah, going back to the perfectionism, it's a really bad way to be, but it's not without its uses, because you care about something, right? So you want to make sure that it's as best as the best version of it that it could be. But what you learn later on, at least I did and continue to learn, is that choices that are made in the moment are better than ones planned. Let me say that again. Choices that are made in the moment are better than... See what I mean? Nothing's perfect. Choices that are made in the moment are often better than ones that are planned. You could take that into any direction. Just, as an actor, right? Like, as an actor, I hate that shit. But as an actor, when you're in the middle of a scene, right? And you've rehearsed something for weeks, months sometimes, and you get to the day and you're opposite somebody that is awesome, or maybe not. Either way, it could go. This next thing could go either way. Whether they're awesome or whether they're not so awesome, but you're here, so you got to work, and you give a performance that is connected to a rehearsal that you've done in your room or in your privacy of your own home, and you got it down to a dime, right? Like it's perfect to you. But then what happens? In most cases, if you're lucky and if you pay attention to it, you're going to come across a moment where the other actor or the director is going to give you something that changes your performance. And hope to God that that happens, because that's often gold. It's really fucking cool and it's scary. But when you watch it back with the power of editing and those like wizards behind the editing table, because they're one of the, like, this is an editor's medium, right? Like they're like a film and television are an editor's medium. I feel we contribute to it, but it's not like theater, right? Where everything's live and what you get is what you get. But with film and television, it's going to be edited, and hopefully you get a version of it that agrees with your ego to make you feel like, you know what, that was good. It's never going to, though. Like, plot, like I hate to break it to you, but like, it's never going to be good enough for you. I mean, some people are going to be like, you know what, I was proud of that. Or going back to the surprise part of that, it's like the in the moment things, situations where you are in a situation where nothing goes as planned, and just like a slice of life, it comes out way better because it's just more naturalistic. It's going to be it's like asking someone, hey, how would you act if you went outside towards your car, tripped, stubbed your toe, and then ran face first into your car? If somebody starts to say, well, I would, no, the fuck you wouldn't. You don't know how you would act like that. And that's the beauty of it. Having, and I know I'm going into like like a method thing, or like a Meisner, what would you do type of situation, where like, you just go off of your kind of like tennis reactions. And what that means is like without thinking, you just, react. Acting is reacting. But that is very true, and it holds up for a lot. That's why it's so wildly popular. And I'm saying all that to say that those are the type of things that end up being just gold. Like, you're like, man, that was that was unscripted. It's, for the most part, like, even if you know the words, how you thought you were going to act in a given situation is completely different. So circling back to just paralysis by analysis, there's going to be a lot of situations where we just don't want to do something, or don't want to complete it, or can't complete it, or we think so anyway, because of all of these reasons. I mean, and there's a million more, like like, man, I want to put that out, but I've put out too much information, or I've recorded too many of these, so I just want to give it some time to chill, to bake. That's stupid too. And I've suffered from that. Like, oh, you know what? I'm putting too many of these out. Let me think about what else I should talk about. That's okay, but you want to crank things out as much as you're comfortably capable of. In the writing scope of things, just writing is a difficult thing to do until it comes to like a point where you lock in and you find the magic fairy, you find the muse, and you're like, and then you like, it just becomes like automatic writing, basically, like where the words kind of just like fall onto the page, or, and it's just, they're just like, you're not even thinking about it. Like, these characters are just talking to each other. That's fucking gold. I love that. When these characters just start speaking to each other, and you're just like it's almost like you're in the sidecar and just writing as everything that they're saying, and it's just, you don't know how it's happening. So it's automatic writing is the best way that I heard it referred to, and that just stuck for me. If you're trying to like find something to produce, and like you're in the middle of picking locations, or like, no, it has to be perfect, but this place gets a lot of traffic, but it's I don't know, like all that shit, just dead that. Like start where you can start with most of this stuff. Like find yourself a starting point, and it doesn't have to be in order of time. You can, like, if you find yourself in a position where you can do one thing for this project here, whether that's securing a location, like tightening up a script, whatever the case, getting some more help, the list goes on and on. You could do a lot that will bump into the next step just by getting that process started. So don't feel like you are stuck with something that's not finished just for sake of not wanting to put something that's not perfect out. Like that's all stupid shit, and I'll say that to myself. It's not serving you. Everybody that has been doing it. And by it, I mean, that means anything. I mean, movies, music, whatever the artistic medium is, they just say, you just got to do it. Just do it. Just silence all the voices. Just do it. Don't freeze up. Just fucking do it. Just keep going. You'll learn your lessons. You'll get your lumps. Whatever is going to embarrass you will embarrass you either way. And watching and listening to stuff back, back like maybe later in time, you're always going to be like, ugh, should have done that differently. Should have said that differently. My body movement should have been different. And it's as soon as you start to make your peace with that stuff, I find that people just relax and things get a lot looser. And that usually makes for some good content, some good things to write. You just like, man, how did you write that? How did you film that? Oh my God, like you guys were in sync. Like everybody in the cast was just vibing. Anything. I mean, it could go on and on. Improv, just being loose and just not overthinking could just lead to some beautiful stuff. So that's all the time I have today. I just wanted to jump on here. I know it's been a while, but yeah, I just wanted to start this again and take my own advice, basically. So today I get to do something a little different, and I don't know. Maybe we'll keep it, maybe we won't, but whatever. It's my shit, so I get to make that choice. So gotta slay, bitches. So from all of us here, that just means me. That's a wrap.